Right, so to create our services page, we need to go through those same steps as we did before. So I'm going to click here back to the editor and go on to exit. And we find ourselves back at the dashboard. Let's go to pages, all pages. And we've already created that page. Now, remember, we've used Elementor with the About page and with the Home page. With this one, we first need to go to Edit. So open up the Edit page for the services, and then we click Edit with Elementor. Okay, so we're at a blank page, and again, like with the About page, we could start building our columns and have that design come together, and we could build it from scratch, and that's great. Now, I'm just going to say, earlier on I said that when people say, oh, we're going to build a website in 50 minutes and then they import someone else's template, I don't think that's too great. But when you are creating your own site and you've designed it and you've created those templates, it makes sense to reuse them. Yeah, you reuse consistent designs, and even if that's just simple things like the amount of padding, you're keeping that as a consistent value all the way through the site, and visually that's very relaxing. So we could build from scratch, but I actually have a tab open with the home page, and Elementor is still open, and I'm going to use this. So I'm going to right click on the section and then copy, and then come on back to the blank services page, and I'm going to paste. And so, okay, we have all of the services here. I would also like to have a heading and a bit of initial information. So I'm going to go back to the home page. So I like this as a bit of an introduction. And so I'm going to copy this one just because it saves time. And I'm going to paste. And that's now at the top. Obviously this isn't relevant, so I delete this column and I delete this. And I think this is one of those occasions where we could certainly have a background image, and maybe this will be centered. So we just want a title at the moment. So my services, or that's a bit generic, isn't it? Classes and sessions, because that would be one-to-one sessions as well, and bring that in, and we will center this one. Style, center, right. That's pretty nice. So there's a bit of a temptation, to make this all very, very colorful. We could do another hero image a bit like this, but I like that this is looking clean, informative. It's just doing its job really well. I would like to bring the width in a little bit, just so it's a bit more together. Seeing as we're going for centered text as well, it does irk me a bit. I prefer it left aligned, but that's looking nice. We know we've got a title, a bit of information, and now we want to define the services. So obviously we want to be able to give a bit more information, and so we can't have it all on one row. So what we're going to do is give a row to each service. But first of all, let's just create the rows. So let's take this section and then duplicate it. And the reason for that is just because we've got that there for reference. We can yank it up when we're finished. And we're going to delete this and delete this one. Now, that's not looking fantastic, is it, at the moment? But what we'll then do is add a new column. And then we'll just bring across what we have. And this will be a Book Now button very soon. And we would like this to be a bit more prominent. So I'm going to get rid of the padding of the section, or at least reduce it to 40, which has been quite consistent. And then this is the column, and it's defined by the image. And so if I just show you, we've got margin on the column, which we could get rid of. But then we actually want to make this image bigger, and the column will grow with that. So let's go to the image, and we go to style, and we've got height here. And do you remember that we fit it so that it was cover? And we could do a default and start moving it about. Okay, we could also define more by width. So I would like to bring the height up so that it's quite prominent. So maybe 350, something like that. And then we can increase the text and information. So on the About page, we seem to have a nice little system here. And actually, I'm going to yank that away. And paste. Obviously, that's a bit too big. Right, so this is private yoga. How it works. We would like that to be a smaller heading as well. And what else? What other relevant information would we have? Location. Cool. Okay, so that looks quite nice as it is. We've got some essential information there. It's a bit more in depth than on the homepage, but obviously you could increase this and it would balance out just like this section here. I do feel like we maybe need something that's a bit more visual and communicates the essential information very quickly. And so what we're going to do is use icons to communicate that. And so we've got a few options to use icons. We can use the icon box, or we can use icon lists. There should be another one here as well. Where is that? Icons. Oh, there we go. Feature list with essential add-ons, the icon box or the icon list. So let's have a look at this one first. And the way this works is that in the content, we select one of the items and then we can change the name. So location, extra area, something like that. And let's get a location icon. Oh, there we go. That one is good. It's not so clear, is it? Choose the other one. What else do we have? Map. Yeah, I like that one. That's much more recognizable by people intuitively. Then we would have times. So weekdays 6 onwards. Yeah, cool. We'll leave that there. And then something like cost. £20 a session. £20 per session, or £70 for 4 sessions. How could you resist? And then we need an icon for money, so a £. And look at that. That looks pretty nice. It's very simple. Why do we have weekdays? What did I do wrong there? Weekdays. What was that meant to be? Time. Did I not get the clock? I don't know what happened there. You must have seen what happened there and thought, what's he doing? Anyway, I think that looks quite nice. And then the way that we would style that is that we can style the icon. So we would definitely want one of our palette colors here. I'm going to go with that one. It seems that these two colors here have become my real theme, and so then we would want action colors. But I think that looks quite nice. Icon wise, we would like to increase the size, not make it grotesque, but increase the size a bit. And look at this, you can align it a little bit. So I'm going to do that. And then text, again, I'm going to leave that as a default. Text indent, give it a bit more space. So let's say 12. And then we can increase the size a little bit, just to bring that visual hierarchy in a tad, and bring in some line height as well. Look at that. Okay, that's cool. 32 makes me happy. The other thing we might want to do is grab a divider and put this here. And of course we can style that as well. So you've got all of these, you can have a bit of fun with this perhaps. So center, I tend to think simple is best, but certainly for this design, we just want it to be nice and simple. What looks yoga-y? Trees. Nope. Gonna go with a line. There we go. You can also chuck in something like this, info, or you could put an icon in there as well. So that looks pretty nice. Let's style that one up a little bit. Again, this is an opportunity for a bit of branding. There we go. I like that. It's nice and simple. There we go. Okay, so I'm going to update that and then bring that in, and that I think that looks really quite lovely. It's got a lot of fantastic information. You could do anything, like you could put some more pictures in here or a slideshow. So let me quickly show you that. First of all, I'm going to duplicate this before I ruin it. So if we click here, and we would like a slideshow. We've got an image carousel, that's what it would be called. Put that in, and let's choose some images. So that, and we would have the outdoor yoga would have a location. Create new gallery, insert the gallery. Now if we were to delete this one, and obviously we'd want to increase the height. So again, as with all elements, have a play with all of these settings and see how it works for you. Slides to show 3. Oh no, I'm sorry. Slides to show 1 at a time, and that looks pretty cool. And so we would have lots of different images that are relevant to that service. And so that's actually really great when you're trying to communicate so much in such a small space. A picture says 1,000 words and all of that. No, we don't want to image stretch. Additional options, lazy load, yes, that's going to help with page speed. Pause on hover, we can leave this. You can play with that as much as you like. Obviously we've got fade, things like that. You can adjust the direction and the animation speed, but do have a play with it. And there's lots that you can do. I'm going to bring back my other one, so deleting that. I like it like this at the moment. So private yoga, let's have a look. We had private yoga, now we would like group yoga. So what I'm simply going to do is duplicate, and then watch this, we're just going to drag it across. So simple. Drag it across and change this over. Group yoga. Click on the image, change the image. Look at that, wonderful. Obviously we'd want to change this information. So group yoga weekends. Sat to sun. Cool. Sat to sun, that's cool. And £5 per session, I would say, is generally a group price, isn't it? £6. And then let's change that to 6, 12, 18, 24. So £20. Look at that, great. And then obviously we would like to duplicate this again, and we want to add our third service. So you can see how simple it is to create a lovely services page. Right, so group yoga, no, I'm sorry, what was it? Group yoga, outdoor yoga, yeah, beautiful. Back to our page, outdoor yoga. Okay, extra area. And we need to change the image to outdoor yoga. Fantastic. Right, the last thing we need to do really is change this to book now. Book now. Book now, book now, book now. Okay, and we have no further use for this. Now, in terms of style and further design, what would look better? Probably maybe something like we can have those dividers here, which we created here. But I think possibly just something like a subtle change in color to show that we're going somewhere new. Obviously, this is a lovely design because we have the typical image to going left to right, and that gives us an idea of sections separating. The one thing we might want to do is bring this in a little bit, and if I bring that to 840, then we close that down. That's quite all right. I think I prefer it a bit wider. So 920. These are figures I'm just pulling out of my head at the moment. Okay, but I think that looks quite nice. I would like to maybe differentiate just a very subtle color change in one of the sections. So maybe return this one to white. That's just something I tend to do in my designs. Obviously, you can make your own decisions there, but I quite like how that changes. I think that looks quite nice. Now, something that was quite accidental is that I just wanted to get the button out of the way and I put it here. But I actually really like that. I think that looks really nice and neat, and it brings this to prominence because we've got the image and then book now. And that happens to be quite consistent with what we had on the homepage anyway. So why is that on the left? That should be on the right. Let's do that. Stay consistent. Style. Submit button. Right. There we go. So yes, one of those accidents of design, and yeah, fantastic. Okay, so this is looking really nice as far as pages go. It's a really functional services page and it has all of the essential information. You might want to have something like the Google Maps somewhere. That's up to you, but you know how to do that, obviously. So what we do need to do is make this functional. And the main function, call to action of this page is the book now. And how are we going to do that? We could have them click this and it goes to another page for bookings. But there's really no need. We can steal this form here and tag it onto the bottom, and it will create a whoosh down effect so that people can then simply book. We're not looking into integrating some complicated booking system on this site. Our call to action would be to send the form, and then Rebecca can get in touch. So let's go along to our Elementor page on the home page, and we're just going to copy it. We're going to steal it and open up our editor on the services page and paste. Boosh. Now that's cool. That works. We would need to change this to book now. Please complete this simple form and we can get you booked in straight away. Yay. Okay, that's cool. Now we'll update that so that we save it. Now it might be true to say that this doesn't completely suit our needs as a booking form. So what can we do about that? Well, we can create another contact form. So for that, we go back to our dashboard and we go to our contact forms and we're going to add new. So if we click that, and you see we have a new contact form. So this is going to be our booking form. Okay. And it would be good to make it specific to the service. So somebody might be here and it would be private yoga, and they click book now, and then they're at the form, and we would like them to indicate what they were interested in. And so we're going to keep it that simple. They can indicate which service they're interested in, and Rebecca can follow up after that. So if we go to the booking form, we have a few options. We can make a drop-down menu or radio buttons. Now the radio buttons generally only allow you to choose one. I think checkboxes would be a great idea, because someone might be interested in a couple of the services and they just want to indicate that. So we're going to click checkboxes, and this will be a required field, and just have a look and see how the code changes there. So it's now a required field. Now here we're going to put which service, or sorry, just service. And it says that we have to write one option per line. So what do we have? We have private yoga, and then we had group yoga, and then outdoor yoga. Obviously you might have, well, obviously you would have different services and just do one per line. And let's see how we get along with that. So we'll insert the tag. Oh, it's up here, look. And then let's see what that looks like on the front. So we're just going to save. Go along to our page, and we need to select the contact form and then change which one we're after. So we need to refresh our editor so that it checks out again which forms are available. Scroll down, select the contact form again, and there we have booking form. Now let's see how this goes. Well, we've got private yoga, group yoga, outdoor yoga. We could add a title there, a label saying, you know, which service are you interested in? But personally, I think that looks fine. So we're going to leave it at that for the time being. That's a lovely functional contact form. Don't forget that you would want to configure the mail, the configurations here. As it is, it would be emailed to the site administration, which is your administrator email, whichever one you typed in then. Okay, so let's save that page. Now the last thing we want to do on this page is actually make it functional, and the only function that it really needs is to make it so that when the viewer clicks on the button, when they make that decision, it whizzes them down to the booking form, and they can just proceed with that. And so we need to use an element called menu anchor, and what that does is it gives the website page a reference point, and the button will click us to that. So it whizzes us down the page. So go along to the elements and type in anchor, or you can scroll through and have a look for it. And you're looking for this little Popeye tattoos sort of thing. And we drag that in, and we want it above the book now. And so what we need to do is type in booking or some relevant label. And that anchor now has the ID of booking. And so what we need to do now is tell these buttons to link to that ID. So we're going to erase any link that's in there, and we need to type in the hash key and type in booking. Now this is case sensitive, and I don't actually recall if I used an uppercase B. So be sure to check that. And when you click on the button, it would whiz you down. So let's change that also here on this one. I thought I changed those around. What's happened there? I'm going to whiz that side. Yay. I don't know what happened there. There's a continuity error with my videos, but I didn't take a break. So that's confusing. Anyway, I whizzed that the right way. That looks better. And so click on this one, and we want to give it that reference again, booking. And click on up to this one and give it that reference. Okay, hash and booking. Okay, so let's save that. And I'm going to hit the preview changes, load up the page, and what we're looking for is, wow, this is great information. I certainly want to book, and look at that. It's magic. Let's test all of the buttons, So we have group yoga, click, wow, and click, wow, that's amazing. So really chuffed with that. That looks really nice and clean and tidy. I'm really happy with that. I hope you are too. And so everything is saved, everything's updated, and we are ready to progress to our contact page. So let's move on with that one.
Hey there, it's Chris here. Thanks for watching the video. Please do like and subscribe and share and comment if you haven't yet, and I'll see you in the next course of video.